I bet I can teach you something about your credit profile if you just give me 3 minutes of your time. And if I do, you owe me a follow. For starters, our credit scores range from 300 to 850, right? So that 550 points in between 300 and 850 is what you have control over. And those 550 points that you have control over, they're broken down into 5 categories. Number 1 is your payment history. It's 30% of your score is worth up to 192.5 points. Then there is credit utilization, worth up to 165 points, which is 30% of our FICO score. Credit age worth 15%, which is 82.5, and then increase in credit mix are both worth 55 points each, which because they're both worth 10% each of our scores, right? So what does this tell us? It tells you that as long as you control the top 2 portions of that, your credit profile, that you're liable to have at least a 650, just mathematically, right? So payment history, make sure that you don't have any late payments within the last 24 months. That's what's going to have the heaviest impact on your score. When it comes to credit utilization, make sure you report a utilization under 10%. I cannot stress this. If I look at 100 credit reports, and I guarantee you 95 of them are going to have low scores just based on the fact that they are reporting a high utilization. 30% is terrible. Erase that from your brain. I know you've been taught that. Never think of that again. You need to make sure that your reported utilization is under 10% so that you are getting majority of these points in credit utilization, okay? Because you have to make sure that you're not just doing enough. 30% keeps you stagnant, okay? Under 10%. Credit age. That comes with time. That's something that you can't manipulate because I do not recommend that you buy a trade line. So ignore that for now. Increase in credit mix. So as long as you're doing the top 2 portions, which is having a credit card and having an installment, you're gonna have a majority of the points in credit mix, right? Increase. You're gonna get increase because guess what? You need to be building score. You need to be building your profile. Don't trip on increase because they don't mean as much as you think that they do. They're just 10% of your score. You can have 100 increase and still have a 795 credit score, okay? Let's talk about a profile that is conducive to helping you rebuild and getting all of those points. Having at least 2 credit cards, having at least 1 short-term installment, 1 long-term installment, and a reported utilization under 10%. I cannot stress that enough. Short-term and long-term installments are, short-term is any installment under 36 months. So any loan, whether that's a self-lend or a kickoff, a personal loan, all of those are considered short-term installments. Long-term installments are if you have any student loans, mortgages, auto loan, all of those are considered long-term installments, okay? Don't end any installments early. I cannot stress that enough. You do not do good for your credit profile when you end an installment early because installments are designed to increase your score over a set amount of time. The majority of the benefits from that loan is going to come at the end of it. Not that you ending it early. It's going to come at when you meet your loan term quota. Okay? Reported utilization under 10%. If you have $1,000 credit limit, regardless of how much you spend throughout the month, because you're able to spend the full $1,000, you need to make sure that by your statement date, your balance is under 10% of that limit. So if you have $1,000 limit, your balance should be under $100 by the ending of that billing cycle. And that's going to keep your utilization really low and your score high.